Hello, Sir Disi.
Hello. Yes, yes.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry.
What's up, everyone? I'm Disi. Currently the team captain of YGG Elite. Yeah.
My name is Biggabie. I'm also part of YGG Elite, and today we'll be talking about Axie Infinity Homeland. So yeah. Um, DC, do you want to do an introduction for the game, or do you want me to do it?
Um, you can do it.
All right. Uh, okay, so Axie Infinity Homeland is your very standard um sorry. Let me just okay, we'll be looking through the Axie Infinity subset for Homeland. It's a very standard game whereby you think of Farmville, whereby you develop your farm for an end goal, right? And what the end goal is just like a leaderboard finish. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I
There's
think I'm
like two
butchering.
leaderboards. So there's like two end game for this game. Currently what they're trying to show is a leaderboard where you basically become the quote unquote richest in terms of like resources. And the other one is in terms of adventure. But the adventure currently is very passive. So basically, you're just like sending units to actually go on adventure, and you can't see like their missions being played.
The only thing that you can it's passive in a sense that you don't control the adventurers when you send them out.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that you can control is stats, right? So you can the goal of this game of the passive adventure is to survive the adventure as long as possible. And one way to do that is with by sending adventurers with very good stats, right? Because that's the only thing you can control. The higher the better the stats, the better they do at adventure. We'll be showing a little bit more of that in the gameplay section later. So the next part, the other thing about the other leaderboard is gathering, right? So gathering is basically land development, right? The more your land develops, the better you are in the leaderboard and stuff like that. So
It's a normal route for the like Farmville stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they have both the leaderboards whereby the gathering, the land development, and also the passive adventure. So players can kind of pick and choose which one they want to succeed in. Generally you can do both, but if you want to be the best at adventure, generally your land development would be slower, because you would always focus on doing things that are specific for getting weapons and increasing the adventurous stats. Whereas if let's say you focus on land development, generally you cannot increase things like weapon crafting to a high enough level whereby you can boost the stats of your adventurers. So yeah.
Before we tackle about the overview, the current state of land is that not everyone can actually play it yet.
Yeah.
So it's still in alpha phase. So basically, those who owns a land right now are the only ones who can play it. But in the future, there might be an option for it to be free to play, or where you can actually like use the lands of other people who owns it. Like there's a landlord, something like that.
Yep. We'll be talking more about that also later on, because they also outline their future plans for this, which is at the bottom of this subset. Yes. So as of now, the game loop is pretty simple. It's very synonymous with what we say, like Farmville, right? develop your farm, you upgrade certain things, you earn gold, you gather resources, you build structures, you level things up. Very, very similar to like those kinds of games. So yeah, like the best comparison is really like Farmville, but with an added content of the adventurers, right? So yes. So yeah, okay. So do you want to jump into like gameplay a little bit, or oh wait, no,
Let's
okay. So
let's just
there
discuss
is
the Substack, Gabby, and then
yeah.
show
Okay.
everyone how these resources look like.
Okay.
Yeah, the workflows and stuff.
Okay. So we kind of talked about this already. There's few things you guys also need to know about like Axie Infinity Homeland is that there's currently 4 different types of plots, right? What are the 4 plots?
Five.
Savannah. Oh wait, 5? Oh, 5.
Yeah,
There's
there's five.
Savannah, Forest, Arctic, Mystic, and Genesis. And every single land has like perks and disadvantages, right? For example, Savannah, you can craft your things regarding metalwork is faster, but in forest, things regarding agriculture is faster. So what metalwork is you think about creating weapons for your adventurer. Agriculture, you think about creating food for your adventurer. So they both they both play a role in the passive adventure leaderboard as well. Whereas Arctic, Mystic, and Genesis, I think they just have an overall boost to everything, with a little bit of boost here and there. But Genesis has like the most advantage compared to everybody else, because everything that's being done on a Genesis plot is going to be faster, in a sense like the cooldown for things are much faster. So yeah.
Gabby, is your game open?
No, I'm still in the Substack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you went past to the game overview where we can
Uh-huh.
talk about what is inside the game first.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So there are a lot of like bullet points here, which is basically what is inside the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if can you share your game right now, Gabby, or is it
Yeah.
not possible?
Shading.
So that we can like show people like how does these things like look like.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sharing the game right now.
All right. So basically, the first bullet point tells us about resources. So there's like agriculture and metalwork in this game, where those are the resources. And Gabby, can you show those 2 types of resources? What's
Sorry. Give me a minute. What are resources?
Yeah, so basically they're divided between agriculture and metalwork, right?
All right. So agriculture is generally like, for example, okay, let me just cancel everything.
Normally Farmville is around like Farmville games are around agriculture stuff. It's
Yeah.
basically from farm. But this
So
game also included metals, where it is going to be useful in the latter part of the game where you would need equipment.
yeah. So when we think about agriculture, you just think of like crops, right? Crops and food and stuff like that. So crops meaning like so these are definitions of crops, right? Like corn, wheat, carrot, tomatoes. And then these are then used to make food, right? So agriculture is just basically your main goal is to be making food. So you make food in this thing called the Cuddle Kitchen, and like there are levels to it, right? You start off obviously at level 1, level 2, and then level 3, right? And then this building can be upgraded as well to go to like the max level. But I already maxed out the level, so but everybody starts off at level 1. So like for example this, right? This is how you create crops, and this is currently at level 2, but this one is at level 4. So that's the difference. So agriculture is basically for you to make food, and the question is, what do you make food with? So like I said, food is to increase the stats for the adventurers, right? So for example, we see like the adventurer, he has health, energy, attack, magic, attack speed, accuracy. So one way you can increase his stats is by giving him food. And then wait, okay. So you can see that what these do. So the effect of this particular food is it increase the attack by 100 and increase the max energy by 20. So I mean, a lot of all the different food has different they give different status and they give different things. So you kind of have to, if let's say you are try-harding into this game, you need to experiment with every different kind of food and then see like what it does and like which is better for what. The thing is, I'm not a try-hard, so I really am not too sure as to like what is the best route for everything. That's why I'm only at rank 269, because for what I do is I basically just kind of do what is the most efficient to earn gold and to develop my land. So I do focus on land development more so than like the adventurers and stuff. So as much as I want to like say which is better, like for example, all these foods, right? They all, I think they give different stats and stuff. So as much as I want to say like which is better for what, I personally don't really know, because
so
it's too
basically
hard.
that is the gist of like agriculture part. And then the other one is basically the metals, where it's the same like route where the agriculture goes to. Basically the metals are the ones that you use for weapons, armors, and the like. So both of them has their own route on how you can actually improve your adventure once you send them out. Yeah. So basically that's the gist of resources. And then the next one is the workers for the land gameplay. So right now, since it's the alpha land gameplay, the workers are actually the free Axies that we have in game. And as you can see, these are the free Axies that you would also see in Origins. Puffy, Oleg. What's the other one?
I don't know. I don't know all the other ones like
Yeah.
this.
And yeah. So basically, we're using the free Axies right now, and in the future, the NFT Axies would come in, and that's in the part of the other phase of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing with the workers right now is that you can't really queue a lot. You can only queue one. So as you can see, Gabby cannot like ask like one worker to do like multiple tasks. You can only queue one.
Yeah.
And then only one extra work or like activity can be done when you already use everything. So that's a part where the game forces you to play all the time, because you can't like just leave it in the morning and wait until the evening for everything to be done.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So with workers, when you start off the game, you have only 2 workers. You don't have this many, right? It's just that I played the game to the point whereby I have 13 workers, but you start off the game with 2, and then you just have to slowly level things up, right?
Yeah.
So
There would be structures that would help you get more workers.
yeah.
And
So
yeah, so like different structure, like obviously same with like other farming games, provide something into the game.
yeah,
And basically what other people say, like the people who's really focusing on land gameplay right now, is that the more worker the better, as long as you keep on playing the game.
yeah. I mean, generally, the more worker, the better, because well, like you increase your output in terms of like things to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more things that you do, the better you are at progressing in the game. So generally, yes, the game becomes you develop your land much faster with more workers. That's basically like what it is. It is what it's just like that, right? And like, yeah. So
Oh,
whenever you
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
okay, so whenever you so how you want to progress through this game is through this, right? The Atia, the altar of Atia. So you start off at level 1 and then you slowly level it up. So whenever you level up in the altar of Atia, usually the best route for you to go is to focus on researching on housing, right? Because housing is basically a way for you to get more Axies to be used to more workers for you. So usually this is the first thing you gotta do is to do research. And yeah, unlike
I think
other games,
what provides the workers, Gabby, is altar and hemp hut, right?
yeah. So when after you level up, you do your research for hemp hut, for example, and also cozy cottage. You have to then build those things, these structures, for example, here. So very different from other games whereby let's say for example, I give an example of Clash of Clans, right? Whereby if you upgrade your town hall, you can then start building the buildings of that specific town hall. But in Axie Homeland is different, whereby after you upgrade the altar, you need to do the research for those specific structures first before you can either build or upgrade them. For example, right, like after you these are okay, for example here, it's 17 out of 18 research done. So that means I can't do something in this level before. So imagine like when you are a level 2 or tier, this housing would be 0 out of 5. So you have to go and do the research first before you are able to build the hemp hut. So that's kind of the difference between other games and this. Yeah.
Going back to the resources part, because Tito A asked about, so usually the wood and is that ore, or what do you call that, Gabby? The pebble?
But the pebble? What do you mean,
Yeah,
stone?
so the wood can be actually farmed through the trees that you can see around.
Yeah.
And the stone can actually be farmed through the earthing.
Query. Yeah.
Yeah, the quarry. So those are the resources that you would also always like start with. And Tito A was asking about like, so that how do we actually get gold in a game? So actually right now gold might be the trickiest part to get, because it is not something that you can just like click and farm.
Yeah.
So Gabby, can you share to everyone how do you actually get gold when you start
Okay.
playing the game?
So I think as you start the game, you realize that gold is the more important resources the resource in this game, right? So and it's also one of the hardest things to get, because you just like Disi said, you can't just farm it, right? So you have to indirectly earn them. So one way of earning it is by doing the daily quest and also the weekly quest, right? These quests, they provide a lot of gold. However, as you go up in level, you realize that there are other ways to earn gold, right? This is like tier 1, this basic level. Everybody knows that you earn gold through quests. But then you then realize like you need more, right? Because once you do the quest, once you've done with the quest, you still need more gold, but then you need to figure out like how you make gold. So the next way is by okay, so for example, when you equip stuff onto the adventurers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If let's say, for example, I'll just do it quickly like that. For example, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all this, you're essentially selling these items, these quote unquote items, to the adventurers, right? And they will
Mm-hmm.
they will just buy it from you. So this is kind of one way you earn gold in Axie Homeland, is by selling items that you crafted and created to the adventurers. So once I do this, I'm essentially earning 155 gold. So yeah, so this is one way to do it. And yeah, so once you do it, you confirm everything, you sell it, and yes, you get the gold. The other way that people who are for people to earn gold is through the auction house. I think this is something people don't really utilize, is the auction house. So one way to do is to sell your stuff, right? So for
I think
example,
I think the reason maybe why you're saying it's not utilized right now is because we cannot figure out the economy of this game yet, and there's not much people playing it.
mhm.
So the movement of gold in the auction or in the market isn't as normal as you would think.
I disagree though. I just feel as though like it feels like there isn't a lot of people buying. It's because you are selling the wrong items basically. When you
Mm-hmm.
realize, right? So what I realized, that things that sells very quickly are amethyst ore, charcoal. For example, I can put this at like 2 and I put it at 60, and I sell it, for example, right? It should be selling pretty quickly. So things that will not sell is like topaz ore, ruby
Mm-hmm.
ore, diamond ore. So if when even iron ore doesn't really sell, wood and stone, they don't really sell as well. So you just need to know what sells and what doesn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, amethyst ore and charcoal is like the easiest one to sell. Iron ingot also sells pretty well. Coal dust also sells relatively well, but the two main things that I always create and sell is these two, right?
Also, you have to consider that the gold is not like as you would think as easy to get at this stage
Mhm,
because Gabby is already playing the game for weeks now. And when
mhm.
you start the game, you would realize how hard it is to get
Earning
those
gold.
gold. And most likely
Yeah.
you would get those gold in the weekly and the daily quest. That's why
Mhm.
at some point in this game, what we try to do, Gabby, can you show the weekly quest again? Because some weekly quests would require you to buy and sell items, right? And it's so
Mhm.
funny because Gabby, me, and my brother are actually like neighbors. The way that we utilize this like selling and buying stuff is that we buy and sell from each other. Reason
Mhm.
behind that is whenever you buy and sell, what happens basically is that the axes are actually going to those plots. So it's not an instant buy or not an instant sell. That's why when Gabby posted like stuff, there would be like time. Like ETA means like it's basically going there and going back, something like that. That's why
Mhm.
there's ETA for this game. That's why there is like value where you would be able to see people selling near your plots.
Mhm.
And the beauty of the game is that those like roads and other like stuff would help you get these things like faster. So it's not like you just don't buy from the most like cheap stuff in the market. If maybe you're very rich and you just really want like stuff fast, you can opt for the one that is like nearest to you to get those like resources. So
Mhm.
like distance is a factor here when you're trying to buy and sell stuff.
Mm. Yeah. So for example, like there's nothing near right here. Okay, so for example, when I say like charcoal goes for a lot, usually let's say you sell in bulk, right? If you notice, there really isn't a lot of charcoal right now. So when you want to sell, and charcoal is really a very needed item, right? Because you use charcoal in a lot of metal work, a lot of things to create weapons. So and if you look at the auction house right here, the only thing that really makes sense to buy is something that is basically in the multiples of that has 3 digits. What I mean is, like, for example, you want to buy like 100 because it takes 25 minutes for it to reach my plot, right? That from for after I buy, I need to wait 25 minutes and 39 seconds for it to come. So it doesn't make sense if, let's say, you buy like 1, right? It's quite stupid. That's why these, even though they're the cheapest, they will never sell.
GMS.
Yeah, even though like these are cheap, they won't sell because it's only 1 for like 15 minutes. So it's just not efficient. So
Most
the
likely
highest
that guy is trying to do the weekly
do the weekly thing.
quest. That's why it's 1 1 1 1 1 1.
Yeah. So you might not think that like it's important to you because you are like you're not really competing, but the people who are really competing, for example, in the leaderboard, right, in this passive thing, for example, we'd say like Forsaken or Tunch or Twist, they really need the items like instantly because they want to compete. They want to keep increasing their efficiency. So they will never be buying things like that has a quantity of 1. They wouldn't mind paying a little bit more of a premium in terms of the price for a lot more stuff, right?
And there's also a limit, right? Like
for example, right?
How much you can buy.
If you notice, I just listed my charcoal and it already sold. Like I did it on like 2-3 minutes ago and it's already sold. So I already earned like 120 gold from just doing that. So you just need to know what sells. And I think the only reason why this is not selling is because I think I accidentally put it for too much gold. So yeah, you need to know how to do unit price also. Okay, for example, I can give you an example, right? So Amethyst Gold, if you look, the average price in the last 7 days is 9. I think that's a little bit too high. So I think usually I sell things around like this, around 3 gold, and then you just sell like half of it, for example, and then it will just usually just sell very quickly. Yeah.
So basically, Gabby destroys the market.
Yes, you undercut the market. So the thing is, right, people like me who are very casual, I can never be compete at the highest level, right? I can never be at the top of the leaderboard, even if I like really try, unless you like really grind from the day. So basically, I'm just producing items for these guys, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm basically just like creating items for them. So yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of how you make gold. You do the quest, you sell items on the auction house. The 2 things that you sell is charcoal and amethyst ore. I'll tell you where to get charcoal and amethyst ore after this. And the other thing is you sell items to the adventurers, right? So this is where you get coalkin, right? When you have coalkin, this is how you create charcoal. Charcoal, basically you turn 2 wood into 2 charcoal. Pretty simple, right? And then this is something that can run infinitely, right? As long as you have wood and you have space in your coal cache, the foragers, the coalkin will run for an infinite.
The reason why people are buying a lot of coal is that it's very it takes a lot of time for you to produce your own coals.
Yes.
That's why it is done usually even when you close your game.
Yeah.
That's how long it is to make it. So even if you just started a game, you would realize how slow it is to make coals. But at some point you wouldn't just stop it. You just keep on getting wood and constantly do the coals.
So one thing that you can use coal to make is, for example, like this bronze ingot. I don't really make bronze ingot. So for me, my land, right? Because everybody has their own perspective. Everybody's has own perspective, right? So I don't really have a need for charcoal yet because most of the highest level weapons that I can make that makes the most sense is this one, right? Iron hammer. It requires iron ingot and wood, right? So it doesn't. So basically, it's just iron, right? And for my land perspective, the thing that makes sense to make the most money is iron. And to create iron, you use iron ingots, right? So for me, I don't see the need for charcoal. But as let's say if I level this up to level 3, I'm assuming certain things down here would require a lot of charcoal to, in a way, like forge those things. It's just that I'm too much of a noob, so I can't even see it. I'm too low level. But
Gabby, I'm not sure if we told everyone that when you start the game, you have the option of making your plot into the agriculture or the metalwork side, or make it like normal.
okay,
Because
so
Tito A is asking if we can reset the plot.
no, you
So
cannot reset.
most likely, um, that's this is what people told us. Like after the alpha gameplay, people are saying that everything would be reset, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, during that time, that is the time where you can actually switch between forest or like agriculture. Is that the thing? Yeah. So basically, it's just a route where you either decide if you're gonna get better rates on agriculture and metalwork. And as Gabby said at the start of the this thing, is that different plots actually provide different value in terms of like efficiency with the game. And like, to be honest with you guys, even the Savannah in itself is very, very good. And it is the cheapest plot available in the market right now. Just because
So
Savannah is good with metalworks.
metalwork. So when you think about, okay, so this is where I think I can showcase something, right? When you look at these, when you look at it, for the weapons, they cost like 60 gold each to sell to the adventurers, and for food, it costs only around like 35, for example, because salad and food and potion are considered agriculture. So if you look at this, the best way for one to earn gold is to just to have to be able to have weapons, right? So that's the reason why a lot of people actually think that a forest plot actually isn't very good to
Compared
earn
to
gold.
Savannah, right?
Compared to, like, for example, Savannah, that's kind of maybe the reason why like the price for forest kind of tanked after this game came out, because they realized like metalwork is just so much more superior compared to agriculture in this game. So in hindsight, right, I shouldn't have gone agriculture, I should have gone metalwork. So when the game resets, hopefully I can change to metalwork, because a
But
lot of
yeah, since this is the alpha, right? It is not yet like final.
yeah.
Because if you come to think about it, since they priced forest to be more expensive than Savannah, they always have to consider that forest should always be better with like compared to Savannah in the long run. And
So
if we are talking about like metals providing more gold in the game, that just means that Savannah would have a better value in the future compared to forest.
yeah. But one thing I can argue about forest is when you look at forest, right? It's forest type. The effects has, what does it say? It has spawn chance of lumber deposit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that just means more trees being spawned in your land plots. I
That's
think,
true.
right? So
Yeah.
with more trees means you have more wood. With more wood means you can create more charcoal. So as you go higher in level, and as your inventory for coal increases, right? Because it from like 750, and let's say I can sell charcoal for two gold per unit. Essentially, at full capacity of charcoal, I can earn 1.4 thousand gold from being a forest. So actually having wood at later levels is more important. So I think yes, agriculture metalworks is good, but I do think that you can argue that actually having wood is very, very good. That's kind of the reason why being near like pink resource nodes like this, for example, this is a pink resource node, right? when you buy the land, it's next to things like water, road, and pink dots, right? So at this current point, pink dots are basically glorified forests, right? A lot of trees. So this is where you get wood. So a reason why, like, on top of being a forest plot owner and having a lot of trees to cut, I'm very near this I'm very near a resource node, so I never really run out of wood. So that's the reason why my coal kilns are working 24/7. They're producing and churning charcoal. Yeah, they're churning out charcoal all the time. Like they never stop, right? So why they never stop is, for example, I can just overnight, as I'm about to sleep, I make my Axies go and cut down trees, and then this will give me like a lot of trees, right? And then it'll just forever keep going, and then it's basically like infinite gold glitch, infinite money loop by just creating charcoal and just selling it. So that's kind of how I earn money in this game. Yeah, and I think a lot of people do the same, right? Just create charcoal and sell charcoal, and also sell weapons. So I think one good thing is you can get forest plot, and then you can change, and then you can get metalwork, right? And that would then be a little
Wait,
bit better.
can you change now?
No, you can't.
You can, right?
You cannot change this plot properties anymore. It's a one-time change.
Maybe in the future they would allow you at a certain cost. Like maybe you pay 10 AXS, I don't know. You know?
I mean,
because if it's like stock forever, it's not possible. There's nothing forever, right? And they would be smart to like allow you to change something at the cost of something, because it's just like burning for them.
Yeah. Oh, see, for example, Tanj, hi Tanj. Tanj already bought my amethyst ore, right? I just listed it and I sold it straight away. So so it's just trial and error, right? When you sell stuff, you just need to figure out like what sells and what doesn't sell. At first, I thought the auction house was like the useless piece of shit because like if nothing was selling. When I just realized I was just selling the wrong items. For example, like these will just never sell, right? Ruby ore, diamond ore. And
but
it's because
it's like, really not easy for this to happen, guys, because for this to happen, like it's always like the same in like real life, right? You cannot sell if there's no buyer. So these buyers just came at some point in the game, because these people are most likely the ones with the Genesis or like Mystic bots, they are way ahead of the others. They have so much gold made. They just need to buy stuff from other people who are like poorer than them, I would say.
Yes, essentially. So you're essentially like selling stuff to the rich, you know what I mean? And you're just trying to keep up with them. So the way they earn gold is by doing adventure, because I think, like, for example, right, when I do my adventure, like these already cost 60 gold, and like each time I send is like only 155 gold. I can't imagine for them, right? I think they're earning upwards of like 500-600 each time they send. I really don't know, don't quote me on this because I'm not them, so I really don't know how much they earn each time they send a adventure out, but I'm assuming maybe 300 to 400 bucks each time. So they don't mind just spending a lot of money buying these kind of things from you, because they are limited as well. They can't produce as much charcoal as well, right? And they just want to have a lot of charcoal, a lot of amethyst ore, and stuff like
basically
that.
they can just like earn that back with the adventures that they would be doing anyways. So basically they value time more than the others as well.
Exactly. They value time more than gold because they have so much gold, right? As per how the real world is, rich people just have, they value time.
It's really compared to real people, right? That's why like very rich people just fly to different places because they value their time more.
Exactly. So when we think about amethyst ore, how do we get amethyst ore is through mining these gemstone mines, by sending your Axies to mine these guys. So you just send it, and then they will go, and then it'll just take time, and then eventually you just have amethyst ore. So this is what I usually do. You can
basically steal like the resources that is being plotted on other plots.
Okay. So this is what I do. Okay, I will mine the gold, and then I will just throw away everything that is not purple. basically. I'll just discard, right? Because I need to make space in my inventory. So like I have no use for all this and I can't sell them for nuts. So just sell whatever you think is useless. So this is kind of what I do. This is my process for playing this game. Yeah, you just mine those things, you sell everything that is not amethyst or iron, and you just
But it
rinse
really
and
depends
repeat.
on your play style or your like, strategy as well, right? Because
Yeah,
who knows in the future what Gabby might be doing is something bad.
inefficient, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
inefficient.
Yep. So like everybody has a different play style, I guess. Everybody earns gold differently. Everyone prioritizes things very differently. So this is just kind of how I do it. This is how I earn gold. I mine, I make charcoal, I sell things to the richer guys. I send my inventory and stuff like that. Lor. It's just that I accepted the fact that I can never compete at the highest level in this game, and I'm just doing it at like a super hyper casual level, and it's just doing this. So you're then asking like, okay, what's the point of like climbing the leaderboard? I mean, at this point in time, nothing, right? Besides the top 200, they do get a title for saying top 200 for Alpha Season 0 leaderboard, for example. So now leaderboard has no basically incentive, right? Besides like a flex, besides getting the title to flex. But in the future, so right now what people do is when they buy a land, they stake the land, they put the land in the staking contract, and it earns them AXS. But in the future, the AXS that is earning from staking will stop, and then AXS will then be earned from in-game activity. So yes, so next time in the future, I think around phase 2 is when AXS game loops will be introduced into the game, and then the passive investment from owning a land will stop. So this is good, right? Because it's generally very good for like the economy of the tokens as well, right? It's just good for AXS token because the less passive it is for AXS to be in a way inflated, right? Or to be created is good for the economy because well, you require work to do it, right? Whereas right now there is no work required to create AXS, which is just not good for economy in the long term. So yeah,
So someone is asking if the trees are unlimited. So
no,
somehow it is unlimited because it grows back.
yes.
But
So
like once you clear it, it could be cleared, you know. You just have
yeah,
to wait for it to come back. Even the one in the pink node actually comes back.
yeah. So this is where, like I was saying, right? The once you clear everything, and you can see spawn chance of lumber deposit. So I'm assuming that the English just means like spawn chances of trees are increased. So this is where I think a forest beats out savanna is when you have more trees, right? More trees to farm in this game. This is where I think forest beats out savanna. That's kind of reason why.
And currently in the game, the stone is actually harder to get because as Gabby said, if you run out of trees in your plot, you can just go to the pink node. But currently the pink node only offers trees and there's no quarry on it.
Yeah.
So somehow the stone is more scarce compared to the wood.
Yeah. So this is where you farm stones, right? Like these guys. So other than that, I think that's kind of the only ways to earn gold in this game. Other than that, you just need to upgrade your things slowly. So when we think about when I talk to like players who are playing at the highest level, what they do is they just rush everything to increase the level of their altar, right? This guy. Whereas for me is I like to slowly upgrade a lot of things, create a lot of things. Like an idiot, just doing it at my own pace, creating things unnecessarily, that doesn't really like directly increase my land development or increase my chances of going to the highest altar level. So yeah,
Because at
I'm
the end of
wasting
the
a lot.
day, it still depends on how you approach the game, right? You might just be
Yeah,
like a casual player who just enjoys like
Yeah.
Farmville games or like farming games. And also, if you have to think about it, when the token goes inside a game, you don't really have to like grind so hard to earn those stuff. So basically,
Yeah.
you play and you still get those like tokens inside the game as long as you play.
Hmm. So I think we can go back to the Substack,
So
right? I'll
yeah,
show.
James, buddy, James is asking, what is the main point of the game? So right now, the main point of the game is just for you to keep on progressing, your farm or your plot, and get higher levels of adventures going into the adventures with the equipment, with the food that you send. But since this is just the alpha phase of the game or the phase one, we can't really see the progression of the game that much because normally the way that I see it at least is that in the future there would be adventures where people would go into dungeons and there would be like, I would assume, raid bosses, and in order for you or for your friends to finish those bosses, you need very high level of adventurers with well equipped stuff.
Mhm.
So the way that I see it is that in the future that would be the main point of the game. For you to be able to reach those like high level of like bosses. Maybe if you guys have watched like Sword Art Online, something like that. Basically you go into those raids and you just finish the top level of the game, and we don't know if the top level of the game would be there. And I am assuming maybe those dungeons or like bosses would provide, let's say, AXS tokens or like land tokens for people to split. Like maybe there would be like 100 raiders and there is like 100 AXS or 100 land token loot and would be shared depending on what you sent into those adventures. So that's how I see the game in the future. But currently, right now, everything is so passive
Yeah.
since it's still the phase one or like the alpha of the game.
And like I think also like people are saying like, what's the point of the game, right? Is I mean just to have fun, right? End of the day, it is a game, and if you, some people really enjoy this game, some people don't, and if you don't enjoy, just don't play. I guess it is what it is. But end of the day, it's for people to disattach from the world, have fun, enjoy, spend their time playing a game. So I mean, it's a game, so you just want to have fun, enjoy your time playing a game. So yeah.
And the game is like very early. Like as you can see, this might be a long while because they plotted phase four to be like 2026. I'm pretty sure that would be long, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you're like playing the game right now, it's most likely for you to just have fun. Unless at some point in the game, maybe in phase 2 or like phase 3 where land token comes in, maybe that's where the money comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, since it is written here as well that for phase 2 AXS game loop is introduced, maybe somehow AXS would also revolve around land. So it would really depend on like, would you actually play the game for fun or would you actually play the game for money or just a mix of both, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it would depend for to you as a player
Yeah.
on how you
Like
approach it.
for example, like Origins, right? Do you play it because you enjoy a card game, or do you play it because you want to earn money from the leaderboard? Or like do you
Mm-hmm.
play it because you like playing card games and you also like earning money
Mm-hmm.
from a game? So it's kind of like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very similar to like land. Do you like playing this kind of farming game kind of land? Do you like to playing things whereby you wanna do just generally you want to do well in the leaderboard, right?
I
So
think the other challenge that we have right now in like even Origins and Land is that the game is not fully developed yet.
mhm,
So you can't really say that this is the time for you to enjoy the game
mhm,
because at some point it will still be improved.
mhm,
And as long as you know that it's not yet the full version yet, maybe some people at the back of their head would be saying that it's not worth their time yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that happening for some other people as well.
Mm-hmm. So, when we look at the future, right? Because right now we're looking at future. Because so right now we're in phase 1, whereby it's the base gameplay, idle
Mm-hmm.
battles, trading, and leaderboard. And then we're soon going to go into phase 2. From looking at the timeline and how things are being rolled out, I'm expecting phase 2 to come out at the second half of 2023, or at max the end of 2023. So most probably it's going to be like either 6 months or to a year for phase 2 to come out. That's what I think. And what phase 2 has in store for us is, like what we said, AXS game loop, meaning like land staking AXS will stop, and then you will earn AXS from playing the game only. Delegation just means scholarship, right? You allow other people to play the game for you, and then you split like AXS rewards with player and also like you as the owner. Basically, scholarship model. Yeah, avatar Axies, NFT Axie gameplay, and NFT Axies, meaning like the Axies that's in your inventory, the Axies that you own, right? That's tied to your Ronin wallet, will be usable in game. And the next one is connected plot bonuses, right? Because so currently when you buy 2 plots next to each other, you don't really get any bonus, right, from it. But in the future, which was promised by the developers when they first released land gameplay back in, I don't know, I cannot remember when they first released, 2018 maybe, 2019, 2018 I think, or 2020, I cannot remember. But yeah, they promise connected plot, because like what's the point of buying 2 plots next to each other, right? So you do get some form of benefit. What that benefit is, I don't know. It hasn't really been like announced. There are speculation whereby like as long as your NFT axes are walking on your plots, they just walk at a faster speed. That's generally what is being floated around in the community right now. So that's for phase 2. And if you look at the future image, right? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, it goes from 2021 to 2026, right? So they are anticipating a 5-year plan to develop this game. So yes. So phase 3 is then, like it says, incorporate in-depth tokenized mechanics and optimized gameplay. So what does that mean? In-app purchases, land item buffs, land token, more NFT items, advanced structures, and more events. I want to talk about the land token. So land token is gonna be like something that is synonymous with SLP to Origins, right? You earn SLP by playing Origins, basically proof of work or proof of play in a way, right? You need to show proof that you played the game, and then you can then earn a token, right? It's not just fake, like it's not just like money created out of thin air. Like you needed to put in some form of like work or energy into it, right? Some form of brain power. So same for this, right? This land token is most probably gonna be what SLP is to Origins. So most probably the way to earn land token is by playing land, right? You need to show proof of play in the land gameplay. So yeah, that's land token. And I think a lot of questions are on people's mind when they think about like land token, because they have a lot of PTSD from SLP. Like they have a lot of trauma from SLP dropping in price, and like they are thinking about like whether this would happen for land token as well. And generally, I don't think it will, right? Because when we think about SLP right now, sorry, I'm going if I'm ranting about like or going too much, talking too much, Disi can cut me if you want. But when we think about SLP in the past and SLP now, they're 2 very different tokens in the sense that like SLP in Axie Origin Classic, there was no use case for SLP in game, right? That's why SLP, when you earn it, scholars extract it, meaning like they sell it instantly. Whereas right now, when you want to get better at Origins, for example, you need to use SLP to craft. So as long as there is that in-game loop of I need to use the token in-game to so that I can do better in the game, it will become net deflationary. That's kind of the reason why SLP has been a deflationary token ever since Origins came out, because of the fact that you need to use SLP, you need to burn SLP in order to get good at Origins.
Yeah, I think maybe you're just missing the point. Like before, it could have been deflationary, but the rate of SLP use wasn't that high before because it was only used for breeding. And before, breeding doesn't require much SLP compared to what it is now. And that is where I think they gone bad, you know? And it's basically just them fixing the economy right now.
So yeah, so no, what I'm saying is like land token, hopefully like it is required to be used in game to get better at the game, you know what I mean? So that it doesn't have that like inflationary, like super hyper inflationary effect that SLP had. As long as the developers make it so that you have to burn XX amount of land token to do certain things in game to get better in the game, it's gonna be net deflationary. It's just generally gonna be good. So I mean,
I think it just depends on how they would like predict the economy in the future, and hopefully they learned from before. So
I mean,
Mhm.
they
Go
have
ahead.
learned, right? Because SLP is right now deflationary, so they have learned. So they understand like how to achieve.
I think the reason why it is deflationary right now is because they really stop people from getting in. Like, if you come to think about it, they just put it down in terms of production. But normally, if the token would start at some point, it shouldn't be like this. Because the emission of SLP right now is just damn bad. Just because they know there's a lot that is being stored before. But at some point, when the land token comes out, it shouldn't be like this. It should be in a way such that it goes through and through, like the emission and the burning of those tokens. So yeah, Bibbs was asking, do you think that there will be a PvP in the future where you can attack your neighbor or like a co-op? So the co-op is most likely the one that would happen, right? Like as I said, maybe the dungeons would be like raids, maybe with your peers to finish like bosses. I'm not sure about PvP if they would implement that or like guild fights, cause that would be basically be like MMO, you know. But if that happens, that would be very very fun. I just don't know if they can implement that. Do you hate your name?
So okay, like okay, so when we see like phase 4, it says dungeon battles, right? I think dungeon battles, what DC means is this. Okay, let me just show you. When you look at the map of Axie Homeland, right? So this is like the map, and pink resource node is this guy, right? This guy. This is the one that it has a lot of trees. So this is the one that what is going to be the dungeon battles. Dungeon battles meaning like you go there, you send your adventurers there to this cross thingy, and then you're gonna be fighting like a big boss, whereby if you kill and defeat the boss, for example, they drop certain items. So like just very similar to like SAO, I guess, or online, whereby you just go and raid a boss together with friends. So that's kind of how the co-op battle land gameplay will come out. For things like attacking your neighbors, which is, I mean, one good example is like Clash of Clans, right? You attack somebody else with your own things that you create. I mean, people are speculating on those kind of gameplay to come out, but I don't think it was confirmed whether something like that. But I do think the idea has been floated around. So hopefully, like something like that will come out. And like if let's say a game does like that, the gameplay like that does come out, like I'm gonna be attacking DC's land, right? Because we are neighbors. So yeah.
I think he forgets that me and my brothers are neighbors. So,
Yeah. So, anyways, so hopefully they do have that kind of gameplay. But I think at this point in time, they haven't really like confirmed anything yet. The only thing that's confirmed is like the co-op dungeon battles. And yes,
mhm.
if we look at phase 4 as well, it says something interesting. It says non-landowner gameplay. So basically, it just means that you don't need to own a land to come and play this game in the future. So hopefully that what that means is like uh I mean it's free to play game, right? No, actually no, that's just what it means. It just means it's gonna be somewhat of a free to play game. So hopefully that is good, and it does incentivize like mass adoption of this game. So yeah. So that's good.
Gabby, someone asked, when you play
Mhm.
Homeland, do you just leave it
What do you
and
mean?
play other games, or do you just focus on the game? How do you play the game?
Because
Does it
I'm
require a lot of time?
like I said, I develop a way for me to play on the background because I am
Mm-hmm.
focused on Origins, right? I'm a competitive player for Origins, so
Mm-hmm.
my main focus is Origins. So, but I do still want to play LAN, right? Because it's a chill game. So, like I said, I developed a way for me to earn gold passively, which is to like get wood from the resource node, turn on my charcoal all the time, craft like weapons here and there. So like I think to answer your question is I do it like on the background. I don't focus on it. But that's the reason why like I'm only ranked 260 compared to like people like Tanch, Twist, right? Fleet Z, for example, they're like very high level. So I think for them when they play it, they're like hyper focused on it. But for me, I'm chill. Like I don't bother what I sell to my units. I don't bother which adventurers I send. One thing I forgot to touch on is adventurers. There's different like classes. There's elite, there's epics, there's legendary adventures, there's even mystic adventures, and they all have different stats. So I don't really bother like which one I send. I just send whichever comes into my inventory and it just send. So for me, I just play it passively. But if you want to get good, I think you need to focus, and you can't really like play two games at once. I mean, unless you can, right? I mean, I just can't. So yeah. So that's kind of like my answer to that question. TLDR is I play on the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for those people who might have a lot of workers, pretty sure at some point you would figure out how you can play it in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it would still need you to play, like focus in the game. Like maybe when you get those trees, those quarry, because it wouldn't take much time. But when you try to like craft some stuff, those are the stuff that would take you maybe like 30 minutes or like to an hour or something like that. So that is the time when you just like leave it there, go back after an hour, leave it there again. So it's just for you to set up your own like routine, I would say.
So actually, if we look at phase 3, right, it says events. I want to actually explain to you or what I think events will be, right? So when we look at the map of Lunacia, right, it's these thingies, right? It's big. So when we look at Lunacia, we look at the middle, right? This thing is called Luna's Landing. So this is where everybody starts the Axie homeland journey, and then they will have to more or less like walk all the way to your specific land, right? And what I think and what ideas people are floating around is like events are gonna be things like special raids, special items to be collected are all gonna be from Luna's landing. So this is where position of land is going to be very good. If let's say you
Mhm.
were Savannah, right? You're beach far away. You're like super far from like Luna's Landing, so it'll take you like forever to get to Luna's Landing. For example, or compared to like a Genesis, right? Genesis are all like right here. They're right next to Luna's Landing. So let's say they do have an event, right? If you are an owner of Savannah, you're far. It takes you a while to get there. Um, so yeah, that's something also like the reason why Genesis is more expensive than Mystic. Mystic is more expensive for Arctic. Arctic is more expensive than Forest, and Forest is more expensive than Savannah. It's because of placement and how far it is away from Luna's landing. And yeah, so yes. So yeah, I think that's kind of like all I guess you can talk about for land, to be honest. Uh if you want me to give you a guide on how to buy land, I'll do it quickly. Prioritize pink node, water, road. So the closer it is to more things, the better it is. So that is, yeah. If you find something that has nothing around it, like for example, this guy, it's bad. If it's next to pink stuff, blue stuff, good. So yeah. So that's kind of like how you should wanna buy land, I guess. So I think that's kind of all. I think we covered most of the things we want.
Maybe the last thing that we can cover is how different because right now, since it's an alpha land gameplay, one reason why other people are actually going into like getting this lands is because you can actually stake it.
Mhm,
You get access from staking those plots. I'm
mhm,
not sure if Gabby can show it, but different um land gives different amount of access when you stake it per day.
yeah,
So as you can see right now, that's the amount of AXS you get per day.
mhm,
And Mystic Genesis, I would say, is just a lot.
yeah,
I mean, even for a low value of AXS is still like good.
yeah,
Yeah, this is daily for now. The reason why they did this, I think, is because land gameplay was delayed a lot, and in order for them to give back to those people actually holding those plots, they actually introduced this. Correct me if I'm wrong with that, Gabby, but
yeah,
that's how I remember it.
yeah, basically. No, they always promise like AXS earnings from land, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just from the idea and incentive of land. You have to know that when games release land, they usually do it as a way to crowdfund, right? So like funding to get some form of
Mhm.
funding from the public. So what they do is they give you a product first with promises, and the promises was just AXS staking and land gameplay. So you need to understand that like these were all just like promises that the game developers at that point in time said that they will deliver in the end. So that's kind of reason why like there is a access taking, because it was one of the incentive for people to even bother buying the land plots back in when they first released it. Yeah.
And as you can see, the daily amount of AXS being rewarded is like 11,000.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about that. Like how much AXS is being shipped out
Mm-hmm.
every day to landowners.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess
So I
that's
think
it.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Sir DC and Biggabie. This is my insights about the Axie Homeland. So, Axie Homeland is really fun game. It's not just about building things. It's also have some quests and adventures that makes the game more interesting. And looking
Mhm.
forward to the next phase. And I also noted the statement of Sir Bigabi. The more things you have, the better.
Mhm.
More
Yeah.
things you have, the better. Yes.
All right. So now we're done to our featured game, the Axie Infinity Homeland. So let's now jump to the streamer versus viewer. So where each of these players, these pro players, will choose one viewer who will fight them. and then the winner will win 50 USDC of or 50 YGG coins and can dare the pro players to post anything on their Twitter account. So,
Hmm.
Sir Biggabie and Sir Disi, do you already picked your the one who will play?
We haven't, but I'm thinking DC
I think
wants
I
to
think
play.
Gabby can play this time.
I knew
Play
it.
because I did a thing
Yeah,
last week, right? And maybe
yeah. I think
it's
Sir
Gabby's
Biggabie will be
week,
the
you know?
one
Yeah.
who will play first. And this
Yeah.
is a best of three match.
It's and it's naked, right? So
Yeah,
it's
it's a
just it's
naked
naked.
match.
All right. All right. Oh,
So
naked. Let me think. Okay, cool. Who wants to play?
who wants to play Sir Biggabie? I think Lord Grimm is a competitive player in Axie Infinity Origins. Lord Grimm, what do you say, Lord Grimm? Do you? All right, I think Lord Grimm accepted the challenge.
All right.
All right. Please, Lord Grimm, please drop your in-game name on the English channel, English voice text, and so that Sir Biggabie will add you, or you can add Sir Biggabie. I think I fought Lord Grimm on Rock Games once, and I and I lose to him. Lord Grimm is a very good player. Yeah, he's a poison type player.
Poison.
Yep.
Gabby is also a poison player, by the
Ooh. So this is a poison versus poison,
way.
or will
Hopefully
anyone will
not.
change their comp? We'll see. Again, this is a best of three match. So we will going to have a two games in max. And then if Lord Grimm becomes the winner, he will receive a YGG coins and a dare to serve Big Gabby on what he will be posting on his Twitter account.
Oh
All
my god,
right.
I don't know what to play for naked. Shit. Nakeds ah. Oh my god.
Naked. So did you Sir Bigabi, did you join on some tournaments on the community gaming or like naked tournaments, or
Yeah.
you just play on competitive in rank games?
Just play competitive in ranked games.
Yeah.
I mean, I do play tournaments, but yeah, I mean, I do play, we do play tournaments. We do play tournaments. So we do play tournaments here and there. Most of it is from the uh, most of it is from community gaming. So yeah, we
Yeah.
do both. We do both.
All right. So
Ah,
Lord Grim, did you already add Sir Sir Bigabi?
yeah.
Oh, you actually played too confident against poison. Wow, so
Sir
smart. Doesn't want to lose
Wait,
at
wait.
all.
No, I don't know. I
I
don't
Ay,
know. I don't
mean,
know what he's playing. I
ay,
don't know
ay,
what
ay,
his
he's
ay,
Twitter
playing.
ay.
account
I don't
is
know
on the
what he's.
stake, right?
I don't know what he's he playing. I don't know what he's playing.
Ay, ay, ay.
We don't know. We don't
This
know. We don't
guy.
know. I can. I don't know.
I think if Gabby loses one game here, he already loses series.
Yeah.
It's it's too
It's a
much.
wrap now.
It's a counter comp. No, 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 no. This
Yeah.
is unfair.
All right. We're
Okay,
going
wait.
on the
I'll
first game.
one counter comp and one not.
All right. All right.
Hey.
He changed.
So Lord Grimm also changed his lineup. He didn't use the
Oi, oi,
poison
oi.
team
Oi,
because he
oi.
smelled Derby
Foul,
Gabi will
foul.
change his lineup.
Stolen
Ay,
predator.
Foul.
Lord Grim uses his runes. I think that's the
Okay, it's
uh,
okay. It's okay. I can win.
it's
I can
okay.
win. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So
Wow.
easy clap, bro. Easy
Sir
clap.
Biggabie. We live in the face of YGG.
Cheating or cheateries.
Lord Grim and Sir Bigavi has almost the same backline, right? But I think
Yeah.
Lord Grim's focuses on the ears, or he changed the ears of his backlane.
Mm-hmm.
And those ears are actually good when you have the rage, because it added more damage, and yeah, it can kill an Axie way more easier, faster. He's focusing on the Axie that has rune.
Ui, belieber.
Lord Grim, you're so smart.
Oi.
OP Poison Team, Auto Surrender. I think it depends on the lineups that
Gabby is so
Oi.
you
lucky.
use. Yeah, with the confident.
Oi.
Uy, that cracks is eight.
Oi. Too good.
The damage of the Nutcrack is stacking. Lord Grim,
Oh, one more nut.
wag mo
One more
na.
nut. Ronin. Okay. Oi. Scary. Oi.
Ooh,
Oh,
with a
nice.
Cottontail
No.
and a Ronin.
Okay. No heal value, so that's good for me. We start a little piece. Confident ourselves. Use this. Go boom boom.
Boom, boom. Ooh, 158.
The mid liner has more damage though,
Yep,
because there's 3 rage stacks.
yeah.
Two.
Lord Grim Stream Sniper.
Stream sniper.
Emote. I can still lose though.
Yeah.
Oh no. I won already. Because it's 100. And he only has 300. It's gonna be 90. 100. Oh wait. Oh yeah, it's exactly 300 damage.
Shield once.
90,
Shield
100.
once. Shield.
Good ones.
Shield once.
Sir
He
DC is
doesn't shield
coaching
it.
you.
It's
You
exactly
hit the
300.
shield once.
It's
You hit the
exactly
shield
300 damage.
once.
Dude,
Oh
nice.
no. Oi. Hacker.
Oh no, there's peace though.
Hello, Sir Gabby will use the three Nutcracks. Ooh,
Oi.
is this
The
the
Win.
shield,
clutch?
Please
Is
bro.
this the
win.
clutch?
Peace, believer Ronin.
Oi.
Oh.
I think it's not enough.
Yeah,
Oi. I won. He can't kill.
believer.
Nope.
Ooh. All right, nice try.
Maybe if you have the dominant predator on the back, so
Ooh, dominant
that you
predator.
heal as well.
Yeah,
Okay. We play poison.
close fight, close fight. All
We play
right, so
poison.
Sir Bigabi won the first match, and we're gonna see if Lord Grim will clutch this one. Will clutch the second round. All right. Oh,
Wait. Changing.
Stream snipe, go. Stream snipe. Stream snipe.
stream tribe, stream.
Alright. Wait. I need to check runes. No cheating, no cheating. Alright.
No cheating.
Stream snipe.
And then Lord Grim uses a full runes.
Oi.
A full runes
Oi.
team.
No confident.
Yeah, this one is still tough for Lord Game because he doesn't have.
Oi.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a bleed comp
Yeah.
right there.
Mhm.
The dual blade and
Triple
the
rise
back.
though. Oh, the triple rise is so annoying.
Yeah.
And actually energy burst.
It's more annoying when you have a cotton tail and then when you were close to having a 7 energies and then the
Mhm.
enemy will use a rise and then it cancels
Mm.
the 7 energy.
Yeah.
7 energy fragments. Too bad.
Oh, I should have. Should have gecko. If not, I won't wake up.
Ooh, the Axie.
Oi.
He's targeting your mid lane.
So the best thing for Lord Game right now is with Grievous won,
Yeah.
and hopefully
Since
the Gecko wouldn't glitch.
Ooh, nice.
reach that. What do you think, Sir DC, is the winning comp of Sir Lord Cream in terms of the poison team of Sir Biggabie?
You mean the winning condition of
Yep, the
him?
winning condition.
Uh, I think in order for him to win, he needs to get value from those Grievous ones.
Yeah.
So basically, as you can see, Gabby's already has 3 Grievous one in front, and I'm not sure if he's seeing it, but that's very bad for him because all of Lord Grim's axes has Chubby, and if he puts another Grievous one at the back and plays Chubby, that's gonna be very good for him because the Gecko would be. It's gonna be hard for the Gecko to remove those Grievous one.
Gecko
I don't
OP.
think Gecko can remove Grievous Wound. He
Yeah,
can't.
but if he plays Chubby,
Yeah.
it would also consider the Chubby when you use Gecko. And you also take a lot
Oh.
of damage if you use Gecko and then you have bleed. But the problem that Lord Grim is facing right now is the backliner is very healthy.
And it will be the one who will apply
It,
more damage when Sir Gabi pick or
yeah,
draw the
so
Gila.
he needs to dual blade the back and Chubby at some point in the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
what was it? Oh. Wake up.
Oh.
Oh, very good draw from Gabby. Mhm. Thinking lang.
King Langs.
Thinking lang, where do I heal? Oh, that Gila slapped so hard. I
Oh,
think I
actually, I
can
should
see
have
the
yam.
future.
I should have yam.
Ooh.
All right. Front's dead. Back's dead.
Mm.
Yeah. Use that there. Takes one hit.
All right.
Imagine if the back has a lot of grievous wound.
Yeah.
Gabby might still lose this if he was able to stack that.
I chop my win already, but I don't. Okay. It doesn't kill anyway, so there's no point to keep moving. I'm gonna do more damage to myself. Let's do this. Pray that I survive. I say I survive lah. There's no way he can kill me. I don't think so. There's no way. Yeah, I won already. GG.
GG's.
Yeah. Easy clap.
We're also going to have a naked tournament on Thursday, I think, on the YGG Pilipinas.
Oh.
And yeah, I think Lord Dreams will dominate
GG. GG.
the
Well played.
matches. Yeah, the Crypto Fiesta.
Okay.
All
GG's.
right.
Game was
Nice
good.
try,
Alright.
Lord Dream.
Game was good.
Will you dominate?
Gabby needs to be defeated at some point.
Game
Yeah, I
was good.
think,
Maybe that's next week.
yeah, I think that's for tonight.
Until he do a certain dare, you know.
Yeah, maybe next week, Sir Biggabie will, sing while
Maybe
dancing.
maybe for next week Gabby is naked. I mean in the game and his opponent is not
Yeah.
naked. So.
Bro. Bro. Alright.
All
Okay.
right. So I think that's all for tonight. So Sir Bigabi and Sir Disi, anything you can say or you can plug your social media accounts or streaming page?
Yeah, I have my Facebook page, it's Disi Boy, and Twitch Disi Boy as well. Same with Twitter. My streaming is not that regular yet. But hopefully in the future it will be. So yeah, if you guys want to watch me play some games in the future, feel free to follow me in my socials.
Same for me, Twitter and Twitch. Both Biggabie. R- Regularly stream on weekdays, but time is a question mark. So like I stream daily, but I don't never stream on the same timing. So like it's always
Mhm.
different. Depends on when I have time. So yeah.
Yeah.
So do follow, do follow. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So that's it for tonight's. Thank you, Sir DC and Sir Bigabi, for all the insights and the knowledge that you shared to us. I'm sure that the viewers learn more about the Axie Infinity Homeland. So that is all. Thank you for joining for tonight's bootcamp. See you guys next week. Bye
All right.
bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. You guys learned
Thank you,
something.
guys.